Hello everyone, welcome to the video session on Norton's theorem. So before going to the Norton's theorem, so we have already seen the Thevenin's theorem. So Norton's theorem and Thevenin's theorem is almost a similar aspect which are used to solve the complex networks. So those who are not seen the Thevenin's theorem, just go to the description and see the Thevenin's theorem once. So because the Norton's theorem and Thevenin's theorem, the procedure almost in the same pattern, so which are a little bit different. So it's very important to go through with the Thevenin's theorem, afterwards even Norton's theorem. So both will be understand very easily if you are comparatively if you study both. Now we'll see. I want to just explain how the Norton's theorem will be applied to the particular given circuit. So application, as I told you, both are similar. So the Norton's theorem is also used for complex circuits, complex networks, which are having a more number of sources and more number of elements connected together. So I told you the application is majorly for it is also for complex networks. So the Norton's theorem is applied to the complex circuits, having more number of, what is mean by complex circuit? More number of sources, and elements, more number of elements that will be linear elements connected together, more number of elements connected. Such networks will apply the Norton's theorem. And application, as we already discussed in the Thevenin's theorem. So this, by applying a Norton's theorem, I can find out the response in any one branch given. That branch we are calling that is a load branch. So we can find the response, in the given load branch or considered load branch. So let us consider the circuit here. We have considered a circuit having a 2 voltage sources and a 3 resistors connected here. And in this session, we will use this circuit to explain a Norton's theorem. Right. So B1 and B2 are the sources connected, and R1, R2, R3 are the sources. So in this consideration, the R2 is considered as a load resistance, and we are going to find out the load current. The response is I2. So we have to find out. So even with the superposition theorem is also we can find out. So but the thing, when you have used the Norton's theorem, when you ask the Norton's theorem, we will find out the one equivalent circuit, and this load resistance is connected parallel to that equivalent circuit. The main application of this Norton's theorem is, suppose if load resistance is a variable in our circuit, if load resistance is variable, when any value of this load resistance changes, suppose this 2 ohms makes 4 ohms. So if you apply the same thing by using superposition theorem, so I have to write the equations again, and I have to solve the complete procedure of superposition theorem. Whereas in Thevenin's and Norton's, if your load resistance changes, simply the value can be substituted directly, and within one step I can find out the solution. So that is the easy way to find out the solution of a given branch, that is the load branch. Whereas for your mesh analysis, nodal analysis, KVL, KCL, superposition theorem, so all the other methods also gives the solution, but the procedure will be, if the load resistance value changes, the procedure again we have to start from zero. But whereas in the Thevenin's and Norton's, it's not like that. The last step, whatever we have, so in the last step, if you change the R2 value, automatically you will get the solution. That is the main application of Thevenin's and Norton's theorem compared to your superposition, KVL, KCL, so all other methods, right? So that's why it's very important when we have the variable load cases circuits, right? So suppose when you have the load resistance changes frequently, and you want to find out the response of the current in the particular load branch, then it is very easy to find out by using a Thevenin's theorem and Norton's theorem. So let us we'll see the in detail view of Norton's theorem application, how you will apply this for a given circuit, right? So how to apply this Norton's theorem for the same circuit we have taken. So here also, like this Thevenin's theorem, we can define with the steps, five important steps to apply Norton's theorem. So I'll write with the step one. Step 1. So what is the step 1? Step 1, this circuit we have considered having a 2 sources, 3 resistors. So same way, so remove the load resistance remove the load resistance, load resistance, remove the load resistance RL. So in this case, this R2 is a load resistance which is equal to RL. We have considered this is RL from the circuit, right? So remove the load resistance. So after removing the load resistance, so what is your circuit? So just I'll redraw again. Just see here, B2, and you have the resistance R1, and you have the resistance R3, and you have the source B2. This is B1, 28 volts, and B2, 7 volts, R1, 4 ohms, R3, 1 volts. And we have removed the resistance here, so load resistance, and give the terminal name load terminal A and B. So this is the first step to apply your Norton's theorem, similar way of your Thevenin's theorem. Now, so we'll go to step 2. We'll go to step 2. Then short circuit the load terminals, short circuit the load terminals, and find the short circuit current, in between A and B, and we'll call that is a ISN, short circuit Norton's equivalent current. That value is short circuit Norton equivalent current. That means what we are doing, just we have to short circuit the terminal A and B. So I have to short circuit this terminal A and B. Now I have to find out, if I short circuit the terminals A and B, so what is the current flowing to this? I have to find out, that is the ISN, Norton's short circuit equivalent current. So I have to find out the current flowing to this uh, short circuit between A and B. So how to find out the short circuit current? By using any superposition theorem or by using any KVL, KCL. We have the two loops, we can find out. Even you write the equation of this one, and you write the equation of KVL equation, and finally you can find out by using even superposition theorem is also you can find out, or KVL equations we can find out. So when you take the example, we will do it that one. So in the step 2, we'll find the short circuit current ISN. Now step 3. Find the Norton's equivalent resistance, in between load terminals A and B, and that is called as RSN, Norton's, or RN. Simply you can take it as RN. So how you can find out the Norton's equivalent current? So just I am taking the same circuit here. I just redraw the circuit. I will take the same circuit, and we'll take the circuit here. Same circuit you will take. So in this circuit, just remove this short circuit branch. Remove the short circuit branch. Just remove this branch. Now, so at your terminals A and B, you find the resistance in between these terminals A and B, RSN. In between the terminals A and B, RSN. So that is your step 3. Now, so we'll go to step 4. Step 4. Connect or draw the Norton's equivalent circuit. Equivalent circuit. So how you will draw the Norton's equivalent circuit? Just I am drawing here. So this is the circuit. From this circuit, I want to draw the Norton's equivalent circuit. So in step 2, you found the short circuit current ISN, short circuit current ISN, short circuit current ISN, which is connected parallel to the resistance, equivalent resistance connected RN. Then this is the terminals. This is the terminals A and B. So this is the equivalent circuit of your Norton's equivalent circuit, right? So what is the Norton's equivalent circuit? Any complex network which can be converted into the equivalent circuit of a single current source. Your current source is equivalent Norton's equivalent current and equivalent resistance Rn, which is connected between road terminals A and B. Now we'll move to the step 5. So we'll move to the step 5. Step 5. So connect the load resistance RL. Connect the load resistance RL and find IL. So how you can find out the IL value? So first we'll connect the load resistance RL here. Connect the load resistance RL. Connect the load resistance RL. So after connecting the load resistance, I want to find out the IL value. So your total current is ISN and we have to find the IL value. How you can find? By using a current division rule. So how you apply the current division rule? Your total current is ISN into opposite resistance is RN divided with RN plus RL. So this is the formula we will use it. A simple current division rule we will use it to find out the load current. So I'll review just once again what is the steps to apply your Norton's theorem. Step 1, first you remove the load resistance. You remove the load resistance and short circuit the terminals A and B. So in step 2, short circuit the terminals A and B and find the current flowing to that short circuit branch ISN, right? So ISN. Now third step, find the equivalent resistance between A and B. Find the equivalent resistance between A and B, that is called as your RN. Now fourth step, so draw the Norton's equivalent circuit. What is the Norton's equivalent circuit? A current source which is we found in step number 2 in parallel with the equivalent resistance. So this is nothing but your Norton's equivalent circuit. In step number 5, so connect the load resistance RL and apply a simple current division rule. IL is equals to your total current is ISN, short circuit current, into current as per current division rule. Your current value IL is equals to from the total current opposite resistance by total resistance which is connected. Now from this we can see it. If your load resistance is a variable quantity, if your load resistance is variable, now your RL value is changed. No need to do all the calculations. Simply your RL value if you substitute here, and I can easily find out my IL value for any value of RL which is variable, right? So that is the main beauty application of your Thevenin's or Norton's. Even Thevenin's also it can be very easy to find out your RL value, variation of RL value, finding current IL. So any value if suddenly changes, I can substitute that value RL here. I can find out within a one step, last step, I can find out the IL value, right? So no need of going all the procedure. Whereas in superposition theorem, or when you are applying KVL, mesh analysis, nodal analysis, whatever it may be. So if any one resistance is changed in your circuit, you have to apply starting from first step. Whereas for in Norton's and Thevenin's theorem, it's not required like that. So we only substitute last step if you only one step is the procedure is required. Whereas in superposition, mesh, node, all the steps are required. Right? So that is the main application. That's why it's very important to learn Thevenin's and Norton's. Now we'll come back to the regular statement of your Norton's theorem. So see here, any linear circuit, of course, if the circuit having a linear elements. If it is a DC, we have only resistance. In case of AC, you will have the impedance, which is having a resistance, inductance, and capacitance. So you can apply for this is AC, but here we are only dealing with a DC circuit, right? So DC means you have only resistances. Any linear circuit containing several energy sources, number of energy voltage sources or current source, and resistances, the elements connected, then your equivalent circuit is in parallel with a single current source in parallel with a single resistor. So see here. So any linear network containing whatever may be the connection number of sources which is connected to the load terminal, then this linear network, which is a complex linear network, can be replaced with one current source. I can call this ISN. ISN is parallel with RN, parallel with the RN, and now I can connect a RL, right? So I can simply write it out now. I can find out the IL value with using your formula IL. IL is equals to the same way. IL is equals to the total current ISN as a current division rule into Rn divided with Rn plus RL. So this is the standard formula. We'll use it to find out the response of load by using a Norton's theorem. Right. So this is the simple explanation of your statement. Now, at last, I just want to compare both Thevenin's and Norton's equivalent circuits. Right. So first, let us draw the Thevenin's equivalent circuit. So what is the Thevenin's equivalent circuit? So Thevenin's equivalent circuit having a single voltage source. Single voltage source. So what is this voltage source called? This voltage source is called Thevenin's equivalent voltage, VTH. This equivalence plus, we'll call this is the VTH, and resistance connected in series, and which this one is called RTH, and the 10 load terminals A and B. Now, in the similar way, if I want to draw the Norton's equivalent circuit, so what is the Norton's equivalent circuit? Similar way, so there is a current source. I can call that is a ISN, Norton's equivalent short circuit current, in parallel with resistance, in parallel with your resistance RN, and you have the load terminals A and B. So this is the Thevenin's equivalent circuit and this is the Norton's equivalent circuit. Now we will find out a relation between your Thevenin's and Norton's equivalent circuit. So we can very easily, if the Thevenin's terms are known, I can find out the Norton's equivalent circuit. So here, so the ISN value is Norton's equivalent circuit. If Thevenin's voltage and Thevenin's resistance is given, then I can find out the ISN value by using VTH divided with RTH. This is the relation. Your short circuit current can be derived by using your Thevenin's voltage and your RTH. And your RN value, is equals to RTH value. Both procedures are same. So your RN value is equals to RTH. So this is the relation of your Thevenin's quantities if it is given, and you can find out the Norton's equivalent quantities, right? So then you can find out if your Norton's equivalent quantities are given, then you can find out the Thevenin's VTH is equals to you can find out that value is equals to ISN into RN. You can usually find out V is equals to your short circuit current into your resistance, and your RTH value is equals to RN. RTH value is equals to R. So this is the equivalent relations between your Thevenin's and Norton's equivalent circuit. So that if one type of terms, that means Thevenin's terms are given, and you can find out the Norton's equivalent circuit. And if Norton's equivalent quantities are given, so you can get the Thevenin's equivalent, and this will be we can make it as equivalent. So this will be, we will call that is a source transformation. So what is mean by source transformation? So from voltage source to current source we can convert, and current source to voltage source we can convert by using these relations. That's why you can call this the relation of the source transformation, right? So by using this process, we can easily convert from Thevenin's equivalent circuit to Norton's equivalent circuit, and by using Norton's equivalent quantities to Thevenin's equivalent quantities. Like with this, I am just closing the Norton's equivalent explanation. So with the simple procedure and how to apply the Norton's theorem and what is the relation between Norton's theorem and Thevenin's theorem. So thank you very much.